Hello again. Going to be making a tutorial today going over this section, the part section. There's 4 different buttons. You have the select button, which will allow you to select your part. You have the mute button, which allows you to mute a particular part. Solo, which allows you to solo any number of parts. Or play, which basically turns these 13 buttons into a keyboard, and these 3 buttons into either your octave down, octave up, or hold. I don't typically use this, but I have enough keyboards, but if you're playing without one, I guess you'll need to use this part. So, select. Let's go over what's mapped to each of these parts. So when you start up a song, this current song is empty, so I had removed all of the information from it using my computer, so if I push play, you don't hear anything. So what you have is your drum selection, your drum parts, which are your, these are buttons 1 through 11. And it tells you what it's typically assigned to. Now, I haven't actually assigned any parts to it, so you can, I mean, this one says kick, but you can actually assign it to be a snare if you wanted to. It's just more convenient to actually assign it to what it's labeled as. And then you have the analog synth, which it's not actually analog, it's a digital synth, but this is the 4-part analog synth. And if I hit my keyboard, I'm selected on that part, so you'll hear something when I play it. Now you can, since the select button is activated, I could select synth 1, 2, and 3. Now these are the Dsynth parts, so these are actually your sampled sounds. Now I don't have anything, I don't have any samples loaded, so you won't hear anything when I press my keyboard. The last button actually doesn't, you can't load anything into it, although I believe you can load a whole drum set, a whole kit, by hitting quick sound and then actually pressing one of the buttons. So I'll do that and see if it actually loads, and I think it did. So I'll go back, hit select, go to my kick part. And I'm not sure you can really hear it, but it's playing. We can go to our snare. Yeah, it's super quiet. I can turn up the volume with these with the VCA, which didn't really help. Your hi-hats. There we go. Volume's a little better now. So that's the one reason to go to your drums part, is to allow you to load a quick sound. So basically something that was saved previously. But I haven't gotten into that yet, really. So let's stick with your analog synth. So that's already loaded. Now when you're selected on that, you're able to choose different sounds. So let's go to pad, and we'll go, I'll hit, press the encoder here, sweeper. And it just loads sounds that have been previously saved. So I actually never really load sounds from the analogs, from this 4-part analog synth. I usually just kind of create my own sounds, but you can use those, the sounds that are already in there. There's percussion sounds. I guess that's percussive. But in the Dsynth section, so synth 1, 2, and 3, if we press those buttons, you're able to load the sounds as well in that. So if we go to string, cold string, and load that, it says it's loading right now. It's under one of the different parts. And so we've loaded that. Now, typically when I'm loading sounds, for the Spectralis, there's two ways of doing so. There's once you hit select and then the part, and you can go up here and change which part you'd like to load. But I typically do it by pressing this button, which is the oscillator wave, and then I choose the sounds this way. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. I think loading the sounds from this window has filter settings saved into it, whereas doing it the other way might not, but I'm not entirely clear on that myself. This is just how I always load it, by pressing the oscillator wave encoder and then loading a part. So now it's loaded a different part. Sorry, there's probably some cutting out because it's trying to play too loud. Okay, so now you can mute parts, so we'll go through that. If I actually had a song loaded, which I don't, you could mute. Actually, I'll load a different song. Might make it easier to get that. So right now, when I'm loading a song, you'll see that it has to load all the samples for that song, which some people aren't too happy about during a live setting, but I have yet to play live, so I don't have that problem. So now we're on a song, and I've actually made a tutorial of this song, or this song is up on YouTube already. So let's go with, well, so it already actually is lit up. So you can see that when the mute button is lit, or flashing, it means that there's a part that's muted. And when you click on that, it shows that the synth 1 part is muted. Now I can mute everything by pressing all the buttons. Now when I push play, you don't hear anything. So if we unmute, let's say the kick drum, oh, the drums part was muted as well, so you'll have to unmute the drums part. Oh, I guess maybe that was not true for that pattern. But now I'm reactivating all of my drum parts. And then the Dsynth parts we can demute. As well as the analog synth. To solo a part, you just click the solo and then press the button for the part that you want to solo. So that will just be the analog synth. To unsolo it, you press the button again. Now it'll stay soloed if you have it activated, and when you go to select or any other button, you'll see that it's flashing to let you know that you have a part that's activated. And then the last part in here is play, and that allows you to play the notes. I'm on a muted part, so we'll go to the analog synth. And I can play that part. So, thank you for watching.